Federal permits are required for many renewable energy projects and electric transmission lines, especially those that cross state borders or federal lands. These permits are issued by various agencies, such as the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, FERC, the Department of Energy, DOE, and the Bureau of Land Management, BLM. The permit process can be lengthy, complex, and uncertain, often involving multiple levels of environmental review, public comment, and legal challenges. This can delay or discourage the development of clean energy infrastructure, which is essential for reducing greenhouse gas emissions and meeting the Biden administration's climate goals. Some lawmakers have proposed reforms to streamline and expedite the federal permit process, such as setting time limits on environmental reviews, prioritizing certain projects, and limiting state powers in permitting. These reforms aim to reduce regulatory barriers and costs for clean energy infrastructure, while still ensuring adequate environmental protection and public participation. However, these reforms face opposition from some environmental groups, state officials, and landowners who fear that they would undermine environmental standards, local control, and property rights. The deal would not include any of these reforms, nor would it provide any additional funding or incentives for clean energy infrastructure. This means that the deal would miss an opportunity to advance energy policy in a way that supports the transition to a low-carbon economy and enhances the reliability and resilience of the electric grid. Without major advances in energy policy, the deal would fail to address the root causes of federal spending and economic disorder related to climate change and energy security. The deal would fail to prevent a default on the nation's obligations, which could have severe consequences for the economy and financial markets, if Congress does not pass it in time or if it faces legal challenges. The debt ceiling is the legal limit on how much the federal government can borrow to pay its bills. It is currently set at $31.4 trillion. If Congress does not raise or suspend the debt ceiling by the time the Treasury runs out of borrowing authority, which is expected to happen between July and September 2023, the government will not be able to pay all of its obligations on time. This could include interest payments on the debt, Social Security benefits, Medicare reimbursements, military salaries, tax refunds, and more. A default on the nation's obligations would have severe consequences for the economy and financial markets. It could trigger a sharp rise in interest rates, a drop in consumer and business confidence, a loss of access to global credit markets, a downgrade of the U.S. credit rating, a spike in inflation, and a recession. It could also damage the reputation of the U.S. as the world's reserve currency and a safe haven for investors. The deal that President Biden and House Speaker McCarthy have reached in principle to address the debt ceiling and cap spending is not a guarantee that a default will be avoided. The deal still needs to be approved by both chambers of Congress, which could face opposition from lawmakers on both sides of the aisle who are unhappy with some of the provisions of the agreement. The deal also could face legal challenges from groups that oppose some of the policy changes that are included in the deal, such as expanding work requirements for food stamps and emergency cash aid. If the deal is delayed or blocked by any of these factors, the risk of a default will increase significantly.